My name is Alex Epstein. I am 19, almost 20 years old. Grew up in New York City and last year moved to Philadelphia to live and go to Temple University. When Katrina hit, it was 2 weeks before high school. I remember watching it happen on the news and I knew there was like nothing, what can I do, about that? And my parents both really wanted to help in some way and they kept calling even and seeing if they could volunteer and were turned away. They said, we don't need volunteers. And then all of a sudden I got an email saying that students were planning a trip to New Orleans and they felt like this was their opportunity to go and help out. And so they signed up and forced me to sign up with them to go rebuild.
Over 500,000 Americans volunteered in hurricane relief and recovery efforts during the first year following the disaster.
What I initially thought is that we would go, spend 9 days in New Orleans. I would spend each day working on house rebuilding, feel great about myself, come back to New York, tell people about, what a humanitarian I am and to never really look back. And what really impacted me was on the first or second day, what was explained to us by the organization that we worked with was that we weren't there just to rebuild houses. So we were out really doing a lot of community organizing with the mentality that if the residents of the neighborhood came together, organized themselves, found ways to employ themselves, feed themselves, educate their own kids, rebuild their own homes, then it would transform into something much more than what it was before.
They were so devastated by Katrina, they wouldn't even come back to even get half of the stuff they didn't want in the memory.
Meeting residents and hearing their stories and seeing their initiatives despite everything that was up against them, that was like extremely inspiring and I couldn't not go back. So I went with my school 2 more times. It was great work. I learned more in 9 days than in every history class I've taken.
When his high school stopped sponsoring the trips, Alex and several friends founded the New York to New Orleans Coalition, NY2NO, a youth-led, consensus-driven organization, and they expanded on the idea.
So we were forced to take on the responsibility ourselves and create the New York to New Orleans Coalition so that we could continue to go ourselves and bring other people. We wanted to diversify our network and bring people from all neighborhoods in the city, and we really started to do that.
We need to get the word out.
And there's only so much we're gonna do. Kids don't really listen to people handing out flyers.
The real way that we're getting in touch with people is like going out to schools and talking.
If you imagine this is New Orleans, this is the lower 9th Ward, this is where black people are, this is where poverty is, this is what got flooded.
We've now helped organize 2 trips and in the process of planning a whole bunch more.
New Orleans, here we go! This block might be interesting for people to take a look at, so I'd suggest that you get out and look at a couple things.
I think volunteering way too much of the time comes with the connotation of charity. I think the subtext to which is we have something that you don't and we're going to fix your problem for you. It assumes that we are above those that we're helping. And that is the mentality that we're trying to break down. So every time that we go to New Orleans now, that's immediately the first thing that we confront. And we always read a quote, "If you have come to help me, you're wasting your time. But if you've come because your liberation is bound up with mine, then let us work together."
More than 200 years ago, you had freed slaves, the first emancipated slaves in the country, move into all of this land and build their own homes.
The other big idea behind NY2NO is that volunteer efforts continue when the students return home.
We hope to bring other young people down to hopefully be inspired by us, but also then open their eyes so they see their home in a different way, have that just be a ripple effect. It's a movement against racism and oppression and classism and everything, and we're doing the exact same thing when we get home.
This will be Emily and Denzel, 2 of our farm managers, and Shaniqua, who's one of the main community organizers. What's up?
Just being in my community and seeing the way it is, it makes you want to do something. You tired of seeing the same thing every day, waking up to the same thing. You just want to make a change.
One of our members came back to a meeting with a flyer that said, "Urban farmers wanted, we own land in North Philadelphia." This is a gift from God. There could be nothing better than this.
97, okay.
We're going to hopefully transform the majority of this land into an educational urban farm where we're standing
might be where we have a series of greenhouses. And then here where we're doing work now is basically all concrete. And so I think this is where we'll do our major composting. And then really this whole area will probably be the main growing site.
The mix of our group is so different and so diverse and so unique, and that's the only reason I think we're going to be able to make change here.
No matter what color you are, no matter what race, we all pull together because we all the same.
That's one thing that I learned also too, was just like full community involvement.
Yeah.
From seniors to kids.
babies.
To babies.
Volunteering to me is like the best thing you can do.
Young people, we're just constantly looking to redefine who we are and find something to be a part of. If you look at any social movement, any revolution, young people are the people, banging down doors. They're the people screaming. They're the people on the ground organizing, talking to people, bringing people together because they're so willing to change. They're so excited to change.
And just like Alex, graduating students from the NY to NO group have gone on to form new volunteer efforts in the communities where they now live.